Looking at, so you guys have already used this before, so you should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. So with that said, this will work in my favor. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Sorry, fellas, but that's how it goes. But with that, we're looking for the cold spots, like David said. They're going to be blue and black. They're always going to have blue and black in there, but I'm looking for blue and black to move or to start taking shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully that's what we'll capture again. I love to give you stats about my equipment because, again, I'm not a TV show host and I'm definitely not a YouTuber. I capture 4 to 5 pieces per year on this guy that I would put my stamp of approval on that it is definitely paranormal or a ghost walking towards us, not 4 or 5 per episode. You guys seeing my point? So with this camera, super fun to use, but I also have it set up with a blue dot bouncing around the screen. That blue dot is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that moment. I'm looking for the ambient temperature to drop 15 degrees or more. So it's about 75, 74 degrees out here. So I'll be looking for 59 to 60 degrees or colder out of that blue dot. There's a temperature read right next to it. Yes, it just got very scientific for some of you. You're all staring at me like, oh my God. Yeah, this gets serious. But we are gonna have fun with this one. So David, you're nice and quiet. Like get to work. Yeah.
Said start recording.
Yeah. It's your guys' night. I do this every day. So again, the more you got, and it's up to you guys when you start listening. And like, Anna can ignore me all night long.
I can turn this up and not listen to anything.
Yeah, people and teenagers will do that. So if I give this to like a 14 to 16-year-old, they're just wandering with it, which is actually a good thing because if they start repeating things that they don't know what the history is, then we know we have a legitimate find. So that's what's so cool about that. But anyway, back to Charles and Eliza. The son and the nephew, by the way, were signers of the Constitution. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you, especially in an election year. So if I don't give the gentleman a recognition for signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of a spirit box. So I just give them the recognition, we move on. We're going to discuss Eliza instead. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it that way. Camera's on the wrong side. Okay. Sorry, wrong name.
This?
Nope. Camera always on your left.
Got it.
There you go. Otherwise it'll be upside down. YouTube doesn't like the flippies. But anyway, back to Eliza. So if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days of when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14. Think of today's standards if you're going to ask her, because her husband was over double her age when they married. It's kind of a creepy age gap then, kind of a creepy age gap now. I'll just put that out. Now, when they married, it was because her father's over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all his children home one last time in England so he can see him, and Eliza didn't believe he was dying just yet. So instead, she stayed put right where you're standing, and she got married. Well, it's 1744. You don't get married in that year to earn a green card. We're not a country. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, everybody. There's nothing horrific about this location. It's a place of respect. But anyway, she was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, start sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. It's a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. I don't think anybody's wearing it tonight. I think Carol's having one. So that's what we use it for now. But when she got those indigo seeds, no idea what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going because it's not always hot here. Then she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantations are going downhill in price. They were going to make a killing with this very expensive indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman here in Poland, something absolutely marvelous. Again, so that's the boring business stuff. Let's get into the weird shit. That's why you guys are here. This is probably one of the most haunted places I've ever been. I don't like to call anything most haunted unless you're there in my scoring system. But at the same time, this is where I get most of my electricity from. Some nights we don't get anything, so don't work with it, but it is very, very hard. I'm going to give you guys questions, and you can go rogue if you want to. However, 3 little rules that go along with that. Obviously, the no yes no questions. That's kind of a common thing with me. Again, go after details. Secondly, be respectful. If you're going to go rogue and ask your own questions, again, place of respect. Third, do not ask Eliza about her children. I will explain before we leave the space. Also keep in mind that if Hannah's asking questions, those answers can go to Jennifer, my voice recording, the audio camera, it can go anywhere. The only person that really doesn't have any kind of communication, Pete. That's it. His just kind of measures where they're at. That's it. It doesn't get any communication out of it. You can use it that way, but it's just a whole different process. Yours only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So you get a simpler set of questions. Those set of questions are going to be based on the mansion itself. It's not here. What happened to it? If we get the what anywhere, we can normally get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that fire occurred. Oh, I just gave you the damn clue that was a fire. My mistake. So yeah, it burned down, just so you know. Find out what the date was. Wow, I think that's the first time I've done that in a long time. You must have one of those faces where I need to tell you everything. I don't know. Is she
Pretty
like that?
much, yeah.
I'm a nurse. It's what it is.
All right, fair enough. You're going to be going after Eliza's maiden name. Here's why. She's the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. The first wife, Eliza, also has a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So, figure out what the maiden name is, but also remember that yours is kind of a catch-all for all of the other pieces going on as well. But I always like to give that device a focus. Anna, you're going after her death. 4 major questions that we get out of that device about her death. She's open. Her age at death, how she died, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Age, how, where, president. Easiest way to remember that. But again, just try to be respectful when you guys are asking your questions. These are focus questions. You don't have to say them out loud, but I just like to give you guys each individual focuses just so you kind of have an idea. I'm here every night. She knows what the hell you're going to use. That's kind of how this works. But if you want to introduce yourself, that's completely up to you guys. Have you seen any number of guest speakers you've been in here? It's those here. Perfect. All right, and by the way, that bottom number is ambient temperature measuring from the probe right here, and it is not 22,000 degrees. That's a faulty record, so I got to put a new probe in there. So that's it showed it to me. I was like, yeah, 22,000 degrees. We're a little hot right now. But with that, we're going to get you unmuted. You guys are going to start spreading around. Just stay away from the vehicles. I know it kind of limits our space, but we do have a couple of corners that we can tuck away in if you guys want to. I'll just be bouncing around doing a few round robins, and I'll regroup us and give you all of the answers and kind of collaborate with what you guys found if we have anything at all. So let's do it. What's the, oh, by the way, did I show you how to get to the words?
No.
Perfect. Hit that little white box to the right, and you'll be able to scroll through everything we've had so far. Newest words go towards the top. I don't see anything as a word of note just yet. And then you just go top right. So both your buttons are on the right hand side. Nice and easy.
Well, I just
Just go around at 2.5 and higher. And you're going to escalate it. So if you find anything, you can get up here. You can even get back to work. So if you put 2.5, great. I'll write it down. When you get to 5, I'll write down the 5. Now
Who are you? Jennifer wants to see you.
Eliza, tell me about your house. Tell me about your house. What happened to your house? Tell me about your house.
How do you do?
How do you do? Huh. Hello? Are you here? Are you here? I would love to hear your voice. Tell me about your house. I'm supposed to ask what happened to your house.
What happened to your house, Eliza?
I just hear radio stations. But I don't hear what happened to your house. Was it a beautiful house? Tell me, what happened to your house?
Oh,
Guess they're even cars.
57 degrees, 54 degrees.
Eliza, tell me about your house. Tell me about your house. How did it burn down? I just felt like I'm listening to the radio.
Liza, are you in the bush here?
What are you looking at?
There.
It's freaking me out a little bit. Is your what? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Tell me about your house. What happened to your house? What happened to your house? What happened to your house?
Yeah, whenever I get the tweakers, I always try to switch it up. It's been a while for you guys. Jennifer, have we heard anything?
I just hear like it's like the radio going in and out.
And that's what I want you to do. So if you can make out what the DJs were saying, like if they're trying to sell you a Toyota, I want to know that they're trying to sell you a Toyota. Because you don't know that we're not next to a place where somebody invented a part for a Toyota and we're getting that bleed over. I know it seems odd and weird, and just like, I don't know if you watch the TV shows, if you're like big fans of that, but there's no way for them guys to determine if it wasn't just radio chatter coming through. So my theory is use the damn radio chatter. The ratio of accuracy goes down, but if you have a giant grab bag of words and terms, then you can like start to sift through it. Oh, who's Robert? Let me see if there's a Robert. Oh, there's 49. Robert was born in 1949. Then you can start like tying pieces together. It's an odd method, but it works for me. And I've been doing it this way for years. So,
We'll try.
I keep picking up on like 40s and 50s degrees over here, but it's the same kind of thing. It's like
so with
like
the wind,
one area.
yeah, the windshields is going to always be black, and it'll probably pick up the wind. So if glass gets much cooler at night, obviously
Okay.
there's no sun hitting it. But again, that's a good catch.
Yeah.
You know, and again, that's not always a real-time catch type of device.
Yeah.
It is more of a I'm going to watch the video on a big computer screen
Yeah.
to see if anything's there.
Okay.
But again, you guys are going to watch them on your TV because I send it to YouTube, so that way you guys can watch it nice and big. And that goes
Okay.
for both videos, even the one that we're obviously using tonight. Like that thing's going to be in 5K. Like that's a beautiful like night vision camera. I should have got that thing years ago. How we doing on that?
Is that her maiden name?
No. I am curious because something showed up on the device that they brought.
She's on your back. Oh, wait. No, maybe that wasn't.
Yeah, right.
No, I saw a cold spot right by you.
Really? Hi
Yeah.
there. I can't understand you.
She said hello.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hold on. David, I can't understand. Can you understand what I'm saying? Huh?
Can you speak clear?
Can you understand it?
Jennifer, there's something like buzzing around you. Keeps going in front and back of you. So keep saying something.
Let's get you away from the truck. Okay. So what do we first do? Weird stuff. How was your day? I drank tea today. I still want to
What is it saying?
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Temperature keeps dropping right here and it goes behind
Listen.
you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Say that again. One.
I heard one. Eliza. Hello, Eliza.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Only thing I heard is one.
What color was your house? Just heard one. That's what we both heard one.
It's so hard.
That's
It's just so in and out and in and out. It's
That
hard
is the
to
hardest one that I have.
hard to figure out what they're saying. I'm having him listen too, so
So depending on what Hannah is asking right now,
yeah.
you might have one of the direct answers. So one of the questions is, what if the president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So if you have the number one, it was indeed George Washington. You're not going to always find George Washington coming out of one of these, so they're going to do it in a different way.
Okay.
So you might hear the word first, and then she might get president. See where I'm going?
Okay.
But the word one, it's a small clue. I'm not going to say, yes, we have something paranormal yet, but at the same time, you don't know what she's asking right now, because she literally just asked me what the questions for her were again, and one of them was the president. You got this.
Okay.
Not easy to do.
It's a little stressful. Okay, what else was I supposed to ask? Can you tell me what color your house was before it burned down? Can you tell me about your house? What happened to your house? How did it burn down? I know you want to talk to me. What? Say that again. What did it say?
Carolina.
I think I got the laser focused at this point, then we'll revert. Pete, where are we at on the numbers?
1.6.
That's it.
Yeah, it's back there.
That's ridiculous.
Tell me about your house. Hotel. Something about hotel. Carolina and hotel.
I'm going to give you a different one, just to make sure that one's not faulty.
Carolina and hotel.
Carolina Hotel. 1.6 is just accurate from here.
Where was your house? Was it right here?
Yes.
Yes.
That's weird.
I said, where was your house? Was it right here? And I heard yes.
At least you didn't hear no shit.
I know, right? Take that one instead, do a quick lap. I'll take this one.
How many people lived here?
Just giving Hannah another minute. I'm going to let Keith do another round. I gave him a different millimeter. He hasn't had any readings yet. That is here by itself.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
anything weird on that?
How many people live here?
What did he say?
How many people live here?
How many people lived in your house? How many people lived in your house? Before. How many people lived in your house before it burned down? Did you love your house? No. I said, do you know how it burned down? It said no. Were you sad that your house burned down? I'm not supposed to ask yes and no questions, right?
I don't know. Is that what they said?
I think so. With? What color was your house? What color was your house? Can you tell me what color your house was? What color was your house?
You guys going to overtime? Yeah, it's Ryder and Route. Anything coming out of yours at all?
Not that other than what we already told you.
Okay, so nothing since then. Yeah, if you have a camera, go ahead and hit the stop button, give your hands up. You guys need to switch.
Well, we were listening together so we could make sure we both heard the same thing.
What was the last peak? Sidewalk and what?
Lungs.
I didn't hear that one.
And was that man or ma'am?
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Interesting.
won't.
Words, what do we got?
Greek and chair.
Greek chair, nothing. Hannah.
New Mexico. University.
Okay.
The ground.
I hit the ground. That makes sense here. Wow. That's what other tours sound like, everybody, just so you know. Keith, while we're here, just so you know, I'm looking for an 8 or above, just because the lamppost will normally give us a little bit more, because we're in a close proximity. How's the buzzing here?
It's like really loud. Is that why? Because we're
Yeah, probably. Go ahead and stop the video, and hand it over, and I'll swipe out the battery and get this thing started. So,
so your battery just died.
Basically went from 3 bars to red.
The last word on mine is coffin.
Oh,
I hit the ground, coffin.
I just got alcohol.
No alcohol involved in this location that I know of. The battery's hot too, by the way. I'm just gonna point that out. I've had that battery like drop like that here before, and other times it'll make it right past this, and I have to change it at the next stop. Yep, just weird. This is a crazy stop. By the way, this is the guy that will follow us around, and every ghost tour comes down here, believe it or not. I know it doesn't look like that now, because we have the whole place to ourselves. But all 300 ghost tours in Charleston, they'll come here. I was going to take this out of my route because it is such a popular stop, but this guy follows me, so I keep his origin story inside of my route. Here's the story that everybody tells, but I'm going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. I'm going to put you back on record so you're ready to go. So this place is called Philadelphia Alley now. It used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some because dueling was illegal in the 1700s. They had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of the hiding spots. So, we all tell the same story of the same duel. Let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up on that recording, while we're here, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time. It's part of his name. But anyway, Dr. Ladd moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor. He comes to Charleston to prove that he's not. And on his way into Charleston, he has a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. So somebody was walking by and seeing that the newcomer was about to be killed because he knew the coachman, and the person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar to anything I've said so far? Rhode Island. Good job, man. Wow, great listening skills on that guy. He's going to have a job with me later. But that's exactly, we are getting RI on regular spirit boxes all the time. I have another device that we're not using tonight. It's basically a digital Ouija board. It uses EMF to be able to give us letters. So it's an interesting device, but it's not always productive. But it is the reason why we have it is for this location. I've had RI show up around Ralph's name only in the past year about 6 or 7 times, so take that for what it's worth. Whenever we have people that are about to cut through us, we'll just kind of split the seas and let them go by, make sure our cameras are pointed downward, unless that's a tour. I don't know what they're doing. But at any rate, so back to Ralph. He tells Dr. Ladd, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. I got friends down there. They can rent you a room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. Proving his point. He's not after Amanda's cash. He's making his own with his own medical practice. So Amanda gets wind of this. She's moving down, and Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the damn story. Every haunted city you will ever visit has a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. This one just happens to be a doctor. And there is some legitimacy there, but why the hell are we in Dueler's Alley talking about this whistling doc? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So they go see Richard III, and they're can't sit next to each other. So on the way home, they're discussing the new actress that was in town. Doc thought she was awesome. Ralph didn't. They start arguing about this actress, and then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island, and they go their separate ways. But Ralph has friends at the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. But Doc saw this ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Somebody's going to die. Remember that this argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb shit happened in the 1700s. Just going to point that out there. Anyway, the two gents come down. They go back to back. They take their 10 paces. They turn. Doc pointed his gun in the air, and he shot his one shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. It's often what happened at a duel. They just shoot it away or shoot it up in the air. But Ralph still has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. His friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, November 2nd, 1786, after refusing medical treatment. 2 things about that last statement that I just said. I know I gave you a date, but remember, it is 1786. Gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what they are now. Where's my nurse? Wasn't there a nurse in? Yeah. Aren't they a lot different? Yeah, I thought so. Like, I know I have a nurse in here. So he's also a doctor, everybody. So he probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. But obviously, the dude failed because he died. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here, all 300 of them, will tell their guests to listen for the whistles. We have 2 cameras running right now, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's more than likely going to come up on one of those 3 devices, possibly even our new EMF mic that we're using over here with Wendy. So hopefully that's the game plan. Like, she's getting a higher hum than what she did at the Pinckney Mansion, so I'll be looking for any anomalies in there. However, with Hannah's device, I can't tell you how many times I come across the whistling part of a song, and then the word doctor comes up immediately after. I don't look for these things, guys. My spot checks are minute 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. If it happens in that minute, it's weird, I put it in your notes. Even if I don't feel like it's relevant to our space, if it's just something weird from the radio, it might be relevant to one of y'all. That's why it goes in your notes. Only certain things will have extra things, and they'll be in bold. You'll see that when you guys get your report. But imagine me going through, and I see doctor, I'm like, oh shit, we were in the Whistler's Alley at that point. Again, that's how this goes. If you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through here, because yes, this is a space I've been kicked out of, use your voice recorders from your phone. Just remember that every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here in Charleston. So let's talk about how I got kicked out of here, because I know Hannah's like super curious about that. So Here's the fun part, and good that nobody's around. I don't always like to tell this part of the story because sometimes we actually have those people that kick me out of here walking through. But this alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there, halfway between the gate and Cumberland Street, which is exactly why I bring you all the way down here, because it gives you a good viewpoint. Not to mention the view you're getting from that camera is going to be just stellar. You can actually probably turn that into a photograph and hang it up on your wall. It's gorgeous. But anyway, especially if you have Morbid there, that'd be awesome. Okay, perfect. Love it. We've caught a few orbs with it, but I think we're debunked most of them. But anyway, so we're standing here because of that wall, because it was called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So cows, goats, chickens, that's what's down here. They started down there by Queen Street and slowly built it up this way over the years. Those bricks down at the end where they started are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, fingerprint swipes, and others. I used to tell a history lesson about that brick, and then I would take people to show it for that history lesson. Nothing paranormal about it. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. That is the last place you're going to find a child ghost is staring at the brick that he had to make as a slave. So, one night, November 26th of 2020, took my entire group down there after giving them their history lesson, and they all stopped and huddled around the brick the same way we're standing, looking at the floor right now. I'm trying to shoo them along. I know nothing's going to happen because he's not there. Secondly, we are outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours. I was still new at this. So, the new owner of the mansion came out screaming his head off. My daughter was on the tour that night. She was about 14 years old at the time. Thought it was absolutely hysterical that Dad was getting yelled at, and we moved on. Yes, it was supposed to be funny. So, the next day was Thanksgiving. I used to work in upper management for Walmart, and you all fight over towels on Thanksgiving. I don't work on holidays anymore because you scarred me for life. The next day, the 28th, I called my partner that brought me into tourism, and I told him what happened so I could figure out what to do next because I'm panicking. I'm new at this. And he laughed at me just like my daughter, and he said, "You got to reroute your group, man. You can't go down there. It's residential." I was like, "Oh shit, I got nothing that way because my tour used to end over there." So I told my group that night, I don't believe in this next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally, by the way, tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that later on. But before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, okay, they didn't know anything. Took them around the corner, told them what I did know about piracy, which I didn't know much either, and somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant, wrote it down, did the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. You guys are giving me wows and a lot of head nods like that's cool shit. I was pissed off. Let me explain. First off, I have a master's degree in creative writing, and all of my bachelor degrees are in other types of writing. When I'm doing research, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. Pirate lore was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. How accurate is that stuff? You have to read a ton of books. Anytime you guys heard something maybe pirate related, I had to read like, I don't know, 4 or 5 books just to figure out one piece of evidence. Granted, it builds up to a great big story. I'm probably a great big expert on piracy now, but you can't even tell the story anymore, so we're good. So I'll let you guys pass through. Hi guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. So what we're going to be doing next, because the next stop that I normally would take you to about the cemetery is a very popular stop, and they're doing some construction up there. You guys are going to be the guinea pigs for the new story that is directly across the street at the other part of the cemetery. By the way, does anybody know the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard?
I got the word graveyard.
Oh.
After alcohol came graveyard, over, camera, may, draw, shame, food, faster, label, and James.
May, draw, shame. Damn it, we might have to do that other one, especially since you have camera on there. Wow. Okay, we're gonna do the one that I wasn't intending. See how things can change in a pinch? Did you get any numbers, by the way, Keith? Nothing at all. I know you're on mute. Hannah, did you hear anything? Any weird anomalies I need to know about? Any more orbs that you may have seen? The may, draw, shame, and the camera piece, like that's a lot. And we're actually closer to that particular ghost because she's really, like her grave is on the other side of this wall, literally. But we can't see it from here. So we're gonna go up and around the corner to where we can actually get some footage. I'll change out Travis's light so we can get a nice bright photo up there, some footage. But with yours, David, you're gonna be right next to him. By the way, I keep getting your guys' names mixed up in my brain. I got it right? David, Keith?
Yep.
Okay, just wanna say, I don't know why. And by the way, your name shows up all the time during my tours, and I don't know who the hell David is. I've researched him in every single location because it doesn't just show up on a regular spirit box, it shows up on a word list, and then somebody like heard it somewhere else. Like it's just crazy. And I researched it everywhere. I'm like, oh, maybe this is the David. Are you from New Mexico? Because didn't you hear New Mexico earlier?
No.
What? Sorry.
You heard New Mexico earlier.
Yeah, earlier.
Okay. So if you're not from New
Nope.
Mexico, it doesn't mean anything to me yet. Jennifer's like, hell no, we're not from New Mexico. Where are you from, by the way?
Ohio now.
What part?
Columbus.
I'm originally from Youngstown.
Okay.
Yeah, that's normally the reaction I get. It's a shitty city.
No.
We're from Washington, Seattle, so we've only lived there
Oh.
for 5 years, so
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with
Gotcha. So
all of Ohio.
basically right on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border
Okay.
is where Youngstown is. It is
Okay.
the shittiest city you will ever visit
Then
other
I
than
won't
Detroit.
visit.
Yeah, don't go there
Okay.
at all.
Good to
Don't even
know.
drive through it. The smog will kill you.
Save me the drive.
You're welcome. Love Columbus, by the way. It's beautiful over there. So we'll swap out that camera. You had a steady like 12 to 15 on this guy the whole time, so it's got to be coming from the lights around us. So just kind of keep that in mind. No other spikes or any other words we need to know about?
I mean, there's lots of words. It just keeps like
What are the 3 you got on your screen right now?
wheels, year, and look are the 3 on the screen right now.
Still like those 4 words that you have. The may draw shame to me is a full phrase, especially since it came up in order that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the camera, because we're going to be dealing with an apparition that was caught on a photograph. So
Oh.
that's where the camera piece comes in.
It said while you were talking within stiff. I don't know if that means anything.
Within what?
Stiff. Stiff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely,
we can go
definitely
like-
stiff at this point.
I don't know.
Yeah. We can go like dead pun stiff. So
Uh-huh.
we can
Yeah.
go like more like I guess provocative type stiff, like jokes with that one. It could go
Okay.
either way. Within
There
stiff.
you go,
I don't know,
yeah.
it works either way.
Should I turn this off now?
Yeah, go ahead and give your hands a break. Well, I want you to also, that may cause shame, she had a stillborn child. We're talking about 1888. That could have been a shameful thing back then. That's what caught my attention, especially around the word camera. So here's how this goes. A local photographer is taking pictures of all the cemeteries, and he does capture a full apparition in that graveyard, but it's 1987. He doesn't have the tech that we have now. He has to send this shit off to Kodak, and I don't think I have to explain what Kodak is to this group. That's awesome, by the way. Teenagers have no idea. But anyway, they all think Kodak is a bear. If you guys want a good chuckle and really think about it, they all think, oh, is that a bear? But anyway, Kodak can confirm the camera that he says he took it on, and that the photograph was not altered in any way. So we have this beautiful apparition, but it's cursed. Females that handle it in a digital format from a phone or a tablet are said to get the same symptoms we talked about at the beginning: the headache, the nausea, the dizziness. Pregnant females are said to not have a good pregnancy based off the gist of the story being wrapped around a stillborn child. I do show you the photograph. I'm going to ask that everybody don't touch my damn tablet. I don't need honeymooners showing up and then 9 months later I curse the family. So that's it. This is part of the reason why I'm trying to replace this story. But the fact that you getting all of those clues, yeah, we're probably going to hopefully get something a little bit more. It looks like she's going to take her time up there as well. I will zoom in on this apparition, and then we will go up there and we'll get probably about 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage. And while you guys are listening in on your spirit boxes, we've seen a few anomalous readings up there that shouldn't be there, like 9s and 12s. So just keep an eye out for that. So here is the full picture. Your apparition is right here. You're looking at a woman praying over her own grave with the baby basket right next to it. So this usually falls in like the top 100 of like best apparitions ever caught, which you can see why all the tourists try to take advantage of this.
The apparition
Right here. Looking at the baby basket right next door as well. So a lot of people like, yeah. I don't think we got a chance to do this story last time. So full picture. Apparition praying over her grave, baby basket. Yep, exactly. Jackie's been pregnant at least 5 times, I know, but I think that's too much. Like crazy. I don't know. But yeah, let's go up and get some footage. Looks like we're going to take advantage of this before another tour group walks in. So David, come over this way. I'll show you where the grave is at. The grave is actually in the back of the cemetery. You see where the cross headstone is in the back?
Yeah.
It's to the left and one more row back. So like I said, from the alley, we were closer to her back there than we were over here. But over here, and you can use that zoom over here, Travis, so you can really get in there if you can. So yeah, we'll get about 5 to 7 minutes of the footage here. Jennifer, you can unmute if you want to. We did get the word child over here. How's our word go?
comes up. This is like the. See, it comes up with numbers. There's bright and Thomas.
Speaking of bright, gentlemen using the cameras, do you see the light up to the left? The church put that there on purpose to deter people from taking pictures because it causes light flares. But obviously my cameras can see right through that. So, yeah, because we're all dead. We're next to the sun. You're getting a little bit of voices coming through.
I just can't make out a lot of it.
Skin. That was like a mattress commercial.
I know.
Going out of business today. How's your buzzing here? You want to like check out the grade, kind of do a round robin? I'm curious. See if it goes up anywhere. Hannah, what do you got going on? Anything? Come on, Stu. Get on the ball, ladies. We got this. About 5 minutes. See, we only got a minute or two. If you need to. Such a jerk sometimes. Any numbers at all, Pete? Nothing. Really hope it's your That's like a perfect shot, just so you know. Because it's all orange and red like that, so if something moves across, you'll be able to see it for sure. Sue, last call.
So he goes to get his pictures developed the second time. And again, when he gets those last 4 back, one of them has something weird and he sent him a picture. So now Harry
Sue
goes,
going once.
if you want something
That was
done
cool.
right, you do it.
I didn't hear what it
I
said.
didn't understand what it said.
It's definitely not radio. Going twice, Sue. Alright, Sue, everybody else is going to try to talk to you, but we're the ones that can actually hear you.
The first time ever.
First time.
That's what I heard too.
Alright, any other words? Alright, we're going to move down a little bit because they're going to want to come over here, so you have to stop to those cameras. I'll tell you what we're doing next.